$18. That's what Ellen Eglin was paid for an invention that made someone else a fortune, revolutionized American laundry, and should have changed her life forever. $18. Because she was black, because she was a woman, and because the world wasn't ready to buy from her. Ellen Eglin was born around 1836 in Maryland and eventually settled in Washington, D.C., where she worked as a housekeeper and government clerk. Every single day, she watched women destroying their bodies, hands raw from scrubbing clothes against washboards, fingers bleeding from wringing out water by hand. The work was backbreaking, endless, and completely unnecessary. So in 1888, according to historical records, Ellen invented something revolutionary: a mechanical clothes wringer with two wooden rollers attached to a crank. Women would feed wet clothes between those rollers, turn the handle, and in seconds, the water was squeezed out. No more hand wringing, no more destroyed hands, no more hours wasted on the same task. It was brilliant. It was practical. It was exactly what millions of women desperately needed, and Ellen knew she would never receive a penny for it. In an interview with the Woman Inventor magazine in April 1890, Ellen explained her devastating choice. "You know I am black, and if it was known that a Negro woman patented the invention, white ladies would not buy the wringer. I was afraid to be known because of my color in having it introduced to the market. That is the only reason." Let that sink in. Ellen Eglin understood the market so clearly that she chose invisibility over financial ruin. She chose to vanish rather than see her invention fail because of white supremacy. So she sold it. $18. To a white man whose name history barely recorded. According to U.S. Patent Office records, that man, identified as O. Wheeler Jr., filed for the patent in 1891 as patent 459,343. Ellen's invention was now his, legally, officially, and by every measure of credit that mattered in 1891 America. The wringer became a massive success. The American Wringer Company eventually manufactured millions of them. Women across the nation were freed from hours of backbreaking labor. The product was hugely popular well into the 20th century. Historians documented that the wringer brought its owner great financial success. Ellen Eglin received none of it. She watched other women profit from what she created. She watched the world change because of her genius. And she got $18. But Ellen refused to stop innovating. According to historical records, after selling her wringer, she was already working on a second invention. And this time, she wanted to patent it in her own name. She wanted the world to know it came from a black woman. She applied to exhibit it at the Women's International Industrial Inventors Congress, an event where, unlike the world at large, anyone was invited regardless of race or gender. She never made it. The mystery invention was never documented. We don't know what she created. We don't know if racism stopped her again, if circumstances prevented her, if she simply ran out of hope. History erased that too. Ellen Eglin continued living in Washington, D.C., working as a charwoman in the census office. She appears in the city directories until 1916. After that, nothing. We don't know where she died, when she died, or how she died. A woman whose invention changed American domestic life became a ghost in her own history. But here's what her story demands you understand. Ellen Eglin made a rational choice in an irrational system. She looked at the math of white supremacy and decided that invisibility was more profitable than rebellion. And she was right. She was completely right. That's the devastating genius of racism. It makes black excellence profitable only when it's invisible. Yet millions of women lived easier lives because of Ellen Eglin. Millions. Her hands invented liberation for other hands, even though her own hands never touched the rewards. Comment below. What would you have done? Would you have made the same choice? Share this story with someone who thinks Black history is just about struggle. Ellen Eglin's story is the struggle. It's the impossible mathematics of genius in a world that profits from erasing you. Subscribe to Ikemefuna History TV, because these stories, these devastating, brilliant, impossible stories, are the foundation of everything America pretends to be. What invention do you think Ellen Eglin was working on next? What did America lose when history erased it? Drop your thoughts in the comments.